Years ago, I made a video regarding and I did that for a particular reason. And I've been hearing a lot of talk about neurological pathways and MRI scans depicting about the um, crimes and stuff like that, which is impossible. Um, and I made the video years ago because I wanted to get it out there. My point was simple. The code is the cure relates to the genetic material that we are encoded with. And every day, every second, every unmeasurable amount is said to have things have changed. Well, it's said to have not even happened at all, as how fast it is, with the neurons firing and whatnot, which the computer, which is the mind, it's not even a computer, it's something so much more. They will never be able to understand what genetic code is. They can't. They'll try to alter it, like they did in several other movies. Gattaca. I mean, the list goes on of the movies. The Last Mimsy. They talk about it, which those movies are under the premise that our DNA, and they've kind of touched base. Yes, you can alter it. Unfortunately, what they don't understand is that the genetic code that we are given is the cure, but it's individualized. It cannot be a group thing. You can't cure it with chemo. It doesn't work that way. People want the miracle pill that says I can be massively fat because I caused it. I'm going to take a pill and it's going to make it better. You can't change your DNA that way. You can't do it. You've altered it to where it's stretched and all this other stuff, and that does alter your DNA. But every breath, every thought, every time you move a muscle, it doesn't matter, every time you're talking, it's changing your DNA. And when you're talking, it's how your the speech patterns are made. Each one is different. Regardless of how much someone can mimic it, it's the past. Actually, when it comes out of your mouth, it's actually considered the past, because when it resonates from your out of the mouth and you hear it, then it becomes the past. So, stuff like that. And the process it takes to hear it is astounding, that the mind is able to do all these things. As far as them figuring out the code, it's going to be impossible. Watson and Crick was wrong. And anybody who says anything about neurological patterns and all this other stuff, they have no idea what they're talking. This relates back to Darwinism. Flawed, lies, fabrication, none of it's true. They don't know. Much like everything else, they don't know, but because somebody, hey, I have a PhD, this relates back to the PhD. They're going with the relate word. All this stuff is related. It's all can be, it coalesces with what their plan is to make people stupid. And so by them saying, we've done this with the DNA, you can't. The breast cancer thing, that's a lie as well. Let's see, we can do chemotherapy on you and kill you, or we can chop them off, and, well, that might help, but you're still at risk. The Gardasil shot, the HPV thing, it's a 4 out of 100. It wouldn't matter if it was 100 out of 100. Let's say you do that. Well, guess what? It can have a dormant gene in it. And guess what happens then? You trigger it. Boom! You've now unlocked, okay, here we go. Now you're dead. You get cancer anyway. Because the cancer does not stay in one, it can mutate into another form of cancer. Skin can become heart cancer. How does it do that? Because it's aggressive. It knows things. How does it know that? It's a question. That's why the code is crucial, but why they will never figure it out. It's individually based. There isn't a pill. Chemo doesn't work. All that stuff is a scam for people to spend money. Like these people that go through chemo, you don't know what's going to happen. Going under the knife is the same thing. And these people that do the locks for life and everything, they end up selling that hair back to the people that don't have any hair. It's a for-profit organization. It's disgusting. And that's what they do. Their whole objective, and I've said it before, it's a failed model to get money. And so they will sit there and try to get money because they think that it's going to do something. It doesn't. It never will. So the whole thing about me saying the code is the cure, and a little bit more explanation, is that every cell in your body is even much more smaller with the DNA. It goes so much further than just pills and shots and things like that. But to sit there and say that they figured it out because they did some bacteria, that's not even true either. That's a complete and utter lie. You don't know if you're going to get cancer or not. Regardless of how healthy you are, you can still get cancer. Christopher Reeve's wife is a fine example. She got lung cancer and never smoked because it was triggered. It was in her DNA. You are born with every disease known that we have at the time, and every disease that's going to be, because it's genetic based. If it can't cross over, then you can't get it. But if it can cross over, like cancer can cross over to any part of the body. Bone, skin, heart, eye, brain. It can happen all over the place. So it's not just restricted. So cancer can go other places. You get rid of one, you still carry the possibility. Regardless, we all do. There's no way around it. So the code is the cure, has nothing to do with all this other comments that people have made. It's about each individualized person having a particular code in them, and you can't change it. There's no such thing, even genetically, as identical twins, because they don't breathe the same air at the same time, that they don't share the lungs, they see things differently, they have different thought processes. It does not matter, even if they're connected or whatever it is. I can feel the pain. No, it does not matter. Pain is also a genetic alteration. There's so many things to talk about genetics. They don't know, and they never will. Because if they did figure it out, which is the stuff that I'm talking about, it would be impossible for them to even change anything, because it's always changing. Every unmeasurable amount of time, which cannot be calculated, something's changing in your DNA. Everything. Sound changes your DNA. Stuff you hear, stuff you see, stuff you feel. Always changing. It's always changing. There's no way around it. That's part of an explanation for the original post of The Code is the Cure.